I've worked with many local governments who've had strategic plans, and strategic planning often takes 5, 10, 15 years of planning and laying the groundwork to actually get to the point of getting what you want and what you need. I'm fearful of the fact that we're not laying enough groundwork. I didn't mean to imply that the county governments sort of pull our strings. In fact, it's actually not the county governments that we need to be working with primarily. It's our state departments, our TDOT, and our congressional leaders. And the reason we need to work with them not only is for matching funding, but also for the hoops and the hurdles that we have to jump through for our state highways. And if we do want to have access to I-65, it often takes a year to a year and a half to 2 years to even get through environmental standards and regulatory standards. We're not even knocking on the doors now. We're not even sitting down and dialoguing with our congressional leaders. I will give you an example, Duplex Road. Our BOMA was not aware that there, 2.5 years ago, there was an approval for $1.5 million assistance. I'm sorry, that's not what the total assistance to survey and to plan for the expansion of Duplex Road is estimated to cost $1.5 million. That is to hire a consulting firm and for them to complete a survey and to find out what hoops and hurdles we will need to move through will cost $1.5 million. The state had already approved to pay for a portion of that, 80% of that funding. We did not go after that money. Now our BOMA, our new BOMA, will be taking up a contract of who will survey that land for us. And talking again with Brad Thompson with Wilbur Smith and Associates, that surveying project is going to take at least a year to a year and a half. $1.5 million for the contract, 1 year for that project to be surveyed, and approximately a year and a half for us to even break ground, depending on the hoops and the hurdles that we will have to go through in getting approval from Department of Transportation. So again, my point goes back to strategic planning is great in theory, but if there's not actions and there's not groundwork being laid for it, we're not going to get anywhere.
Michael, do you know?
Let me repeat this list that we have done. We have approved the major thoroughfare plan. We've approved the master land use plan. We've approved the future land use plan. We're working on a parks and recreation plan. We've gotten approvals to expand the sewer and the water plant, and we are planning to expand the police and fire departments. So when we say we haven't done enough planning, I'm at a loss. A couple years ago, we brought the state representatives down to Spring Hill to take a bus ride down Duplex to show them the quality of that road. And as a result of that, we've gotten that project moved forward by many years. We've gotten that project advanced. So we are communicating quite well with our state representatives. They have budget constraints at the state level that they must work with. I don't know what the money is that we're talking about. I'm assuming it's the Urban STP fund that is being talked about concerning the state monies, and we did utilize that. There was $700,000 that was available to us that we used, and it's an 80-20 match, which means the city has to put up $140,000. It's probably going to take a little bit more money than that. So in the end, the city is going to spend, depending on how fast we want to expedite that road, another $350,000 to $750,000. It just depends on how much of that project we want to take on. Now, the environmental study of that road is going to take between 6 and 8 months. The engineering study is going to take roughly a year. So the year and a half is completely accurate on that, but that's actually standard. And that's the planning part of what needs to happen for a major road. That's the state's process. That's not our process. We were following the state regulations on Duplex. After those studies, it becomes a state funding issue. It's out of our hands. When the state has the money and the state can break ground, then they will. And at that point, it could take another 18 months of construction, but the state will pay for that road.
Cindy, should we go ahead and first answer the next question? We're going to shift gears and talk about education. Regarding education, where do you believe emphasis needs to be placed in the coming years?
I think we all know that ultimately the funding of education lies with the counties, and we pay property taxes to fund our K through 12 public schools. But even though we do not have a special school district, and we are within 2 counties, we have two distinct and separate school systems, I do believe that Spring Hill has to take a little ownership of our schools. And we do have to sort of remove that line of Murray and Williamson County. And while we don't have a lot of money at the time right now to give to the schools, I do think there are some creative partnerships that we can form. I know there are some ball fields we desperately need. I think there are a lot of things we can do with our school system. Something as simple as taking care of the maintenance for them within the schools that lie within our boundaries on either side of the county. There are creative things we can do to relieve some of their budgetary constraints. In talking with the superintendent of the Murray County Schools, Eddie Hickman, and also with the District 3 School Board Representative Janine Moore on the Williamson County side, it is music to the superintendents and the board members' ears when they say a city wants to help a county with the school system. And what they suggest, in talking with Mayor Rogers Anderson of Williamson County, what they like to see is the city government write a direct check to the school, and the principals and the teachers decide how best to utilize those funds. It may not be a big check, but boy, they sure appreciate a check, and they appreciate the fact that you're paying attention. Could a city perhaps help one of our local schools with refurbishing computers within a computer lab? I think there are a lot of things that could be done with K-12 education, which, to answer your question, Dustin, is somewhere I think Spring Hill needs to focus. But I think until we dialogue with the folks that are actually rolling their sleeves up that are in the schools, then we're not going to truly know exactly what their needs are. And so to answer your question, K-12 should be a priority.